Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Sonia G, and on my channel I like to share my manifesting stories and any tools and techniques that I use in my day-to-day life. And today I have a story that I want to share with you guys. It's a story that is very near and dear to my heart. It's truly a miraculous miracle. To me, this is probably the most amazing manifestation story that I have ever experienced in my life. And let me tell you, I've witnessed a spaceship and an alien before, and that doesn't even top this story. This story is about a pregnancy, my third pregnancy, my last pregnancy, and it takes place in 1999. And I was going to school to get my x-ray technician license. And if you don't know, when you're dealing with x-rays of any kind, you're dealing with radiation. And radiation can be very dangerous to a fetus if you're pregnant, if you don't take the proper precautions. So I was about 2 weeks in, 3 weeks in, dealing with the actual radiation and taking actual physical x-rays of other students. You use each other. And I did not feel good all of a sudden. I remember not feeling good and even thinking, there's a possibility that I'm pregnant. I'm getting these symptoms, nauseous and just not feeling good, tired, really tired. And so I go have a pregnancy test done, and my results come back positive. So I thought nothing of it. I know I've been dealing with radiation, but it was a concern for me because when or if you're pregnant, you have to take extra precaution and protection with your body to protect the fetus. And I was not taking that extra precaution because I had no idea I was pregnant. So finally, the day comes that I have my appointment to go visit my OBGYN, and I let him know that I had been dealing with radiation. So he gave me a quick, I'm not going to tell you all the weeks, how long I was, all that's irrelevant, So he made me an appointment so I can come back and he can do an ultrasound on me. So when I came back from my appointment and he did an ultrasound, he noticed that one of the baby's kidneys looked a little off, a little irregular. And so he decided to send me to a specialist. So finally the day comes for my appointment to go see the specialist, and the specialist confirms that there's something abnormal with one of the baby's kidneys. And I was to come back every week. Every week I was being monitored by the specialist. And at first there wasn't much of a change, but then all of a sudden they started to see a change. And the baby's kidney was getting worse. And so I was coming every week to see the specialist, and the kidney was getting worse. And then one day they say, Okay, so the kidney that's bad looks worse, and now the other kidney looks abnormal. So the whole time that I was going to the doctors, I was hearing the kidney is abnormal, it's getting worse. The other kidney looks abnormal now. I kid you not that I, in my heart, truly believed, and just without, I didn't even have to think about it. I just felt like everything's going to be okay. I would go to my visitations, I would go to my appointments, and yes, I quit X-ray technician class. I was not gonna go nowhere near that. But every time that I would leave the doctors, I literally left like if it was just a checkup. It didn't faze me or bother me. I had a tremendous peace inside of me of everything was normal. Everything was fine. It's just an extra precaution. And I don't know where that peacefulness came from, but it was just a knowing within. So time goes by, and once the specialist said that the first kidney that was abnormal was worse, and then that the second kidney was starting to look abnormal, my regular OBGYN asked me to go in, and he wanted to take a look. So he checked and he saw the same thing. He said, yes, the first kidney we saw that it was abnormal, looks worse, and now the other kidney does not look good. Okay, let's fast forward. The specialist that I have been seeing every week wants another opinion. So now this is a third opinion. Okay, this is a third opinion now. And another specialist that worked in the same facility as the first specialist, he did a, what's it called? Ultrasound, and checked. And he confirmed that what the first specialist saw and my regular OBGYN saw was correct. So the specialist recommended maybe inducing my pregnancy early so that they can try and perform surgery on the baby, see if they can help the baby in any way, because things were getting worse. And finally, the holidays are approaching. The holidays are approaching, and the two specialists were in the room with me, and they said, look, we were thinking of maybe inducing labor early. We were thinking of all the possibilities, but these kidneys are really rapidly getting bad. Honestly, they said, the best thing for you to do is to go home and try to enjoy yourself and your life and the holidays. It truly doesn't look good at this point. If the baby comes to full term, it's gonna have physical problems. It's not, there's, the baby's not gonna be okay. So go home and enjoy the holidays. So that day was a little tough for me, because they're literally saying that they don't even think they want to induce labor anymore. They don't think that they can do anything for the baby at this point. So go home and enjoy the holidays. My due date was in March, and this holiday season already. So they're telling me go home and enjoy yourself and be prepared, because once the baby comes, it may not survive. And if it does, it's going to have a lot of problems. So that day, mind you, my whole pregnancy, I was at peace. But now they're telling me that my baby might not survive. It may be born, it might be born alive, and it might not survive. And if it does, it's going to have a lot of problems. So that day, I remember, and I'm not a religious person. Since I was very young, I've always felt very spiritual. I've always felt the energy of God. I've always felt a presence. I've never felt alone. I did grow up Catholic. I was at the very first Sunday Mass every Sunday with my relatives that would take me. But it never clicked. I never connected. I always knew something was wrong, because everything going on in the world around me with the relatives never made sense with it. It just never clicked. Anyways, this particular day, I said, okay, this is weighing heavy on me. Today, this is heavy news. I still didn't believe it, but it was weighing heavy on me, to hear something that drastic, that the baby might not make it, and if he does, there's going to be lots of problems. Oh yeah, and by the way, I had already known it was a boy. So many ultrasounds, they saw that it was a boy. Anyways, I said, you know what? I'm going to stop. I don't want to cry. I'm going to stop at the church that I grew up at. I'm just going to stop by. I'm going to say a prayer. I always cry when I tell this story. So I stop at the church. And by the way, and I was crying hysterically. When I step into a church, I feel the energies there, and they just take over me. I don't know if I'm feeling the vibrations of all the people that go there that are suffering, or what am I picking up on, because if once I walk into a church, there is an energy that I cannot describe that takes over me, and something comes over me and I cannot stop crying. And I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is, but it takes over me. So that's always my whole life. There's a strong energy inside of churches. I don't know if it's the energy of all the people that they leave there with their prayers, or I don't know. I don't know what it is, but there's something with me in churches. It's a phenomenon that happens to me. I don't know what it is. So I'm sitting there at the church, and I'm just sitting there bawling my eyes out, bawling my eyes out because of the energy that I feel, and also because of what I'm going through, I'm pretty sure. And this lady comes up to me out of nowhere. Mind you, there's nobody in the church. It's empty. There's no mass going on. And this little lady comes up to me, and she says, whatever your problem is, I could help you with it. What's going on? And okay, deep breath. So, and mind you, at this point, I have another thing that is going on. My 2-year-old needs surgery also, on top of that. So at this point, his pediatrician gave me the news that my 2-year-old needed surgery. So it was like, ooh, that's a big deal, It's like, I can't imagine my little 2-year-old having to go have surgery, you know? So I told her, yeah, right now things feel a little heavy on me. I don't usually feel this way, but I'm just feeling a little alone right now. Anyways, every time I tell this story, I cry. Every single time. It always gets to me because at that point, I remember just feeling alone. Anyways, she says, let's go to the office. I work here. Let's go to the office. Let's schedule you a prayer. And that way, when the congregation gets together and, and because I didn't even know they did this, you put your name or the name of who you want the congregation to pray for. And at a certain time of the Mass, they say they call out the names. They don't say the problem, they just call out the names, and then they pray for all of those people. And then, if you'd like, I have a group of friends, of people that I know that do group prayer, and we can go right now. As soon as you go take care of the prayer in the office, I will drive you there myself, and they can help you right now. Well, I did not hesitate, and I was not desperate. I was just at peace. I believed her. I believed her. It wasn't too far. She even told me it wasn't too far, and it wasn't too far. And I kid you not, people are arriving and people are walking out of this house. It's just a constant flow of people going to this home. And there was a group of people that did prayers there. And some people are coming out while other people are coming in. They want nothing from me. They didn't want no money. From what I saw, there was no exchange of money from anyone. They were preparing food if people needed to get fed. I had no idea something like that was going on. And they did not want nothing. And I had my 2-year-old with me. And I know this might sound scary to some people, but I honestly, in my heart, I had peace of mind being with this lady and going with these people. It just, I had no doubt in my mind or my heart that everything was going to be okay. So it's my turn, and my 2-year-old's with me, and they're praying over us, and they're throwing holy water on us, and then it was quick. It was fast. It was the fastest thing ever. And the lady put her shoulder on me and on my son, and she said, everything's going to be fine. You don't have to worry about nothing. Your unborn and your little one, they're going to be fine. And she said, come one more time. Come one more time. Anytime you want, we're always here. Come one more time. And I did. I went one more time. It was just as quick and easy. They did not want, and they don't even, nothing. You don't have to sign nothing. Nothing. They just want to know, what do you need? Who needs it? My son's surgery comes about first. And that was one of the scariest things, having to take my 2-year-old to have surgery. And that was tough. But thank God he went in and he came out, and everything was fine. Everything was fine. And then my due date comes. I was doing some last minute shopping for my baby because I still did everything like if my baby, my normal baby, was coming home. Got his crib ready, dressed up put all his bedding, put all his diapers in where they go, just fixed everything for the baby. I was prepared for my baby. My baby was coming home, and I didn't give it another thought. I didn't give it another thought. Now, the day that I did do the when I went with the people for the first prayer, that day I did come home a little stressed. That I remember I closed the door behind me and I just fell and plopped right there. And I cried. I cried, but I was not thinking of anything negative or that anything negative was going to happen to my baby. I was sad though. I was sad. And then when I was done crying, I got up and I didn't give it another thought. Don't ask me how. It never crossed my mind to think about it anymore. So it's March 10th. My two-year-old son and I are doing some last-minute baby shopping for the newborn. And like I said, I was not thinking at no point anything negative. In my mind, it was said and done, and that's it. It never even creeped up on me to think that anything was wrong. I kid you not. So it's like 2 or 3 o'clock, and I remember being really tired. We got home, we finished shopping, and I laid down. And I remember I hear like a balloon pop. Well, I knew what that was. Because my second one, my water broke too in the middle of the night, and it woke me up how loud it was. So I called my husband. I let him know. I jump in the shower and I change, and he comes home and he takes me to the hospital. And they check me in. I'm nervous, not because of anything that I think is going to go wrong, but because having a baby, it's a big deal. So I think I was just nervous because I know it hurts. I did feel some pain until they gave me the epidural. It's time to deliver. It's the middle of the night, and I'm ready to push. I'm ready. I'm dilated enough. I'm ready to push. And my doctor's there, and a team from ICU is there because, remember, they're expecting worst case scenario when it comes to this child, and he's going to have to go to intensive care immediately, and that's what everyone's thinking. So, and I didn't want the epidural, I remember, but my blood pressure was going up so high that my doctor said, and I was already in a lot of pain, so it was hard to get that epidural in, but my doctor really didn't want me to feel nothing no more. He really wanted me to relax, and just getting that epidural was so hard because the contractions were coming so fast and so painful, and they had the anesthesia, I can't say it. The anesthesiologist, anyways, was having a hard time putting the epidural in because the contractions were so close and so hard already. But anyways, we got it done. I push, the baby comes out, and when the baby comes out, he's peeing everywhere. He starts to pee. He's peeing. And the doctor is holding him, and he's peeing. And the first thing the doctor said, the first thing that came out of the doctor's mouth was, "There's nothing wrong with this child. There's nothing wrong with this child." Oh my God. the first thing that the doctor said was, there's nothing wrong with this child. It was music to my ears. Music to my ears. And ICU still took the baby to make sure that everything was fine. They took him. He was going to spend the night with intensive care. They were going to check and do everything they possibly had to do to check the baby. And he was fine. My baby was completely fine. Okay? Like, no physical problems, no abnormalities, nothing. I wound up sick. I wound up with high blood pressure for like 3 days. The baby was ready to go home, but I wasn't. I had to stay, and they had to be putting some kind of medication in you that when it goes into, I don't remember the name of medication. It goes in your vein and you taste like metal in your mouth. It was terrible. They had to put a catheter in me. The doctor did not. I couldn't have visitors. I couldn't watch TV. They had a nurse sitting in the room with me, watching me around the clock. I couldn't get up for nothing. I couldn't even have my baby with me. The doctor needed me to focus on me because my blood pressure was ridiculously high. It was just so miraculous and so amazing. I had 2 specialists and my regular OBGYN monitoring me every week and telling me that things are progressively getting worse and worse, to the point where they did not think that the baby was even gonna make it. Well, my baby is 21 years old now. And he's alive and thriving, and he's never had a problem in his entire life. And I thank the Lord, and I thank all those miraculous people that believe in what they do, because the power of prayer is real. And I am thank God that I had the mentality to stay calm and to just, honestly, I just believed it as normal as I believe that I'm gonna go to bed in a little while and wake up in the morning and brush my teeth before I go to bed. It was that mentality of just everything was fine. Nothing ever creeped up in my head. I was never at any point sitting around worried. Nothing. I prepared for a baby. I lived my life like it was normal. A baby was coming and everything was good. I can't tell you how grateful I am till this day that miracle happened to me in my life, and I was able to witness it. And for anyone going through any health problems or difficult pregnancies, don't you believe it. We're all special and we all get the same treatment. We're all special and we all get the same treatment. It just depends on how you look at life and what you believe. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video with someone that might need to hear that miracles are real, miraculous manifestations are real. Take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.